Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you a pretty late review of this past week's episode of Riverdale on the CW, which was episode 3 of season 2 called Watcher in the Woods. And I want to apologize for the lateness of this. I know it aired back on Wednesday, but I've just been juggling a lot of shows. Fall is like the biggest time for TV, and that as well as the balancing work and some form of life. It's just hard to get all these in order. I'm still late on one or two things. But I still didn't want to talk about this week's episode of Riverdale and keep up on it. Because Riverdale is still one of my most enjoyable shows right now. It's still out of the realm of things you would typically see me talk about, but as I said in my season 1 review and in my episode reviews of season 2 so far, there's just something with Riverdale's nature and its characters, its pacing, its writing, its delivery that is just so almost engrossing. It's you can throw it in with Pretty Little Liars all you want, but the fact is that it's just more compelling. It's more it has this gloomy, slightly dark feel to it that something like Pretty Little Liars could never have. And the characters are just much more likable, and despite their comic routes, much more real, I think. Despite some of course, being a little bit exaggerated, just for the nature of the story and everything. But yeah, this week's episode, Watcher in the Woods, I thought it was pretty good. I liked it quite a bit. Like I said in last week's review, that this season is going to be 22 episodes, as far as I know, which is quite a bit more than what we got in the first season of just 13, but I think Riverdale can pull it off. I think it can keep up its pacing and its mystery for the rest of the season and still have the characters be fun to watch enough through other little things that you might get into. And despite that much longer season order, it hasn't really stumbled yet. It hasn't really had much filler at all, honestly. And I know it's only 3 episodes in, there's plenty of time for it too. But I think Riverdale can make it through it either way. So of course the big thing about this week's episode was Archie going to have a dinner with Veronica's parents, of course Hermione and Hiram. Of course him and Hiram interacting being the main concern there. And I thought that was all really good. Hiram is definitely a complex character, but I really like the actor they have playing him. I just think he's very good with his like his facial mannerisms and just his delivery. It's very suave, very charming, yet there's definitely something underlyingly creepy about him, or like at least imposing or intimidating. So he's really nailing it, and we're not really sure where Hiram is going to end up as far as what kind of character he is. Now with Hermione, it's definitely been like almost a 180 for her. Because she was one of the more down-to-earth, parental figures in season 1, at least, besides, like, Fred and everything. But, she would be manipulated by the return of her, Hermione Lodge. Herman Lodge, I'm butchering names all over the place, but, her behavior would be affected by his return. But have it so drastically that she's like antagonizing Veronica and sort of trying to mock her and what she hopes for, in terms of her healing relationship with her father. It's really unlikable, I don't think you should like Hermione at all right now. I don't see why you would. But it's odd that she's not even supportive at all to her daughter. But maybe it's the case. Maybe it is actually Herman Lodge trying to make an effort, and there's actually an uglier side to Hermione that we didn't really know in season 1. Maybe Herman Lodge isn't really the worst of the two. I don't know. I definitely believe that part of her, her father does want to connect with her again and sort of have a better relationship. But there's definitely something else at play in his mind for sure. There's some kind of scheme. I had a theory before that he's even causing this whole Black Hood thing as a way to move things around in a certain way. The way he admires Archie when he takes the initiative and makes the Red Circle group at the end. I don't know. Maybe I don't think Herman Lodge is like the cause of all these murders. But I definitely think there's going to be something this season that he sort of does or gets into. Sort of pushes Veronica away again, but we'll see. He's oddly likable, though, and again, that's partly due to the actors, delivery of the lines and everything, but yeah, I think he's working out well either way so far. You also have, of course, Jughead being antagonized by the Ghoulies, another group at Southside High. They actually beat him a little bit, and he lies to Betty about it, not to concern her. And he meets a new character, I forget her name, but she's part of the, Southside Serpents. So it feels like they're trying to set up a little love triangle there between Jughead, Betty, and her. I don't think it's needed too much, unless Betty really starts sort of, just disagreeing with the way he's going about things there. And as Jughead discovers that the Ghoulies actually do deal in fairly major drugs, although at least most of the Serpents do not, to the best of FP's knowledge anyway, the Ghoulies do. So when he's going to write about them, that's where he is attacked. So really, I feel like you're going to push Betty in an annoying direction this season, have her really just try to, I don't know, really try to get Jughead to disassociate with them, even though it seems like they're not necessarily bad people, at least the Serpents, some of them anyway. So that part's fine. Now, as far as like Archie's red circle, it is a little bit cheesy, it is a little bit campy, but that's another part of Riverdale's nature. It can feel gloomy and serious and engaging, but it can have slightly more, comic booky type of elements to it as well, and I'm fine with that. At first I thought Archie was going to dress up as like Spider-Man or something and run around himself in the neighborhood, but I appreciate what he's trying to do, and it appears like Herman Lodge does too. We'll see how that works, though. We've seen a little bit more possibly of the Black Hood in this episode. He also wrote that letter, just saying he's really has them all pinned down pretty much. And Herman Lodge, of course, gives Archie the advice to try and instill that fear and just sort of a threat back at him. So, we'll see how it goes. We got a glimpse of him possibly with Kevin in the woods and everything, potentially. It appears like the Black Hood might end up being a character we haven't really met yet, but has knowledge of a lot of the people within Riverdale, of course he does, so it should be interesting. But yeah, so overall I thought this episode was pretty good. Although I am a bit irritated that they didn't show more of that reality show viewing party that Veronica was having. They just cut right off after Herman Lodge and Hermione left. I wish we could have seen them watching the reality show together. It would have been fun. Maybe not for Jughead, but still. So, overall, I like this episode. I'm giving it an 8.7, 8.8 out of 10. I just think it's enjoyable of a watch. So, let me know what you guys thought about this one. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.